Hi fans of high quality entertainment. My voice is sexier than ever because I've got a cold. Yeah, I haven't uploaded a new video in a few days because, you know, coughing and everything, and you don't want to hear me coughing in a video. And, you know, plus you could get a virus watching my video because I have a cold. Anyway, this is kind of a... I just want to talk about the year of me listening to classic rock, and of course usually stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And I have listened to some new stuff like Greta Van Fleet, who I really like, but just not enough interest to actually buy their latest album. It's I'd rather listen to Led Zeppelin. But that being said, Greta Van Fleet is great. I really do like them a lot. So let's see if I can get through this one with my croaky voice. I'm going to cough once or twice. I thought I'd stop the video just to let you know that I had done this whole video, and then I forgot to talk about David Bowie. So I thought I would put David Bowie's section in here. Anyway, as some of you know, I've become a huge David Bowie fan. I've always loved quite a bit of his music through the years, you know, going back to the 70s, but I was never a huge fan of his. But in the especially in the last year, I bought most of his albums, and I'm even still now, I'm still focusing on his first few years up to, I guess, Lodger and Let's Dance would be the last one. And then of course his last two, Black Star and The Next Day, which I absolutely love. It's the later albums like Earthling and all that, which I still haven't taken the time to listen to because I'm still appreciating all of the other albums. But David Bowie has become absolutely one of my all-time favorite artists. I love his run of albums from the David Bowie album with Space Oddity all the way through to, you know, like Lodger and all that. Just what a great run of albums, and I love each and every one of them, and I can't even pick a favorite. But I would say that I think Hunky Dory is the one that I've listened to the most. So maybe that is one of my, or maybe it is my favorite album of his. But his debut album, the one with Space Oddity, I thought it was not a very good album from, you know, just through the years listening to people and all that. But it is excellent. I absolutely love it. So, yeah, I love all of his albums. And that's all I want to say about David Bowie. Now back to the video. Bye. This isn't in any order, but the first thing I have here is U2 live at the BBC. And about a week ago, or a few days ago, I saw, oh, they're performing live on the BBC, All I Want Is You, and With or Without You, and I especially love All I Want Is You. And so I watched it, and I made a video 2 or 3 years ago, Goodbye U2, where I'd given up on them. They were, after the Beatles and maybe Sparks, my favorite band for years and years and years. And then with the iTunes issue, you know, them putting their latest album on everybody's phone, and it was just, I just had enough, you know. And then also they're always trying to go for the younger market with songs like Get On Your Boots and that, and I just had enough of them. But that being said, they are still a friggin' awesome live band, and I think I'm at the point now, you know, I was totally turned off by them, where I could start to listen to them again. At least their older material. Their first few albums are great, and even give maybe some of their newer albums a chance in time. We'll see. So in order, these are some of the classic rock bands and albums that I've listened to a lot this year. Grand Funk Railroad. In the 70s, after the Beatles, they were my second, you know, there was the Beatles. I loved the Beatles. And then the next band that came along that I absolutely loved and became a fan of was Grand Funk Railroad. And the one early album of theirs that they released, Survival. Oh, I fainted. Oh, wow, I must be really sick. Grand Funk Railroad, Survival. I thought it was I was kind of disappointed, I guess, without, I'd played and played and played. I love Grand Funk Railroad. I'm gonna love this album. And I never did. I just kind of liked it. But you younger people, you'll listen to something now, and I tell you, in the future, you'll play it again. Something now that you're not sure of. And in the coming years, you might actually love it, because Survival now, I think, is possibly my favorite Grand Funk Railroad album. But I've been listening to even their later albums, like Shining On, which I didn't really care for, and it's better than I thought it was. I kind of gave up on them after We're an American Band, which is, of course, great. But, yeah, Grand Funk Railroad is definitely one of my all-time favorite bands. Let's talk about Paul McCartney and Wings. Before the deluxe version of Red Rose Speedway and Wildlife were released, I was listening to the older versions that they had on Spotify. And I listened to, for the first time, a complete listen of Red Rose Speedway, and I really liked it, because when it was first released, I never bought the album. I think my brother had it, and My Love didn't really, it was too sugary sweet for me and everything. And the critics back then were putting the album down, so I thought, oh, it's not a very good album. It's one of the only early Paul McCartney and or Wings albums that I never really gave a chance to. But like I said, I loved it on Spotify, and the remastered version is even better. And it is a superb album from start to finish. And especially the closing tracks on side 1 and side 2 are just amazing. So, and Wildlife. I never cared for the song Wildlife, and now I really enjoy that. So I love Wildlife too. Not as much as Red Rose Speedway, but I still really enjoy Wildlife. The Beatles. Of course, they released, the box set of the remixed White Album, and of course I loved it. What I really loved was the, them rehearsing or whatever, their different takes of like Helter Skelter and Hey Jude, and what really impressed me was, oh my God, they sound like an actual band. They're not recording, they did record separately, of course, for the White Album, but they also played as a band on the White Album. And so that made me just really happy. And they sounded like they were having fun, and it wasn't all fighting and not getting along for the White Album. So that really, really impressed me a lot, that the Beatles are a band on the White Album. I've listened to a lot of Blue Oyster Cult, and one of the albums I bought, big fan. When Mirrors came out, I was really disappointed. It did sound kind of like a sellout and way too commercial, and I never really gave it a proper chance. And I've, listened to it since, the remastered version on my box set I have, and I think it's great. Really, really great. The Doors. I haven't listened to enough of The Doors, and that's one thing in the coming year, I'm going to listen to, there's certain albums of theirs I haven't really given a chance to, like Waiting for the Sun, and you know, my favorites are the debut album, their last two, and the Soft Parade. So a couple of others, but I need to listen to their whole discography, and maybe in the new year I'll do a ranking of their songs or something. Yes, of course, the year before I was obsessed with Yes, and I listened to them a lot. This past year I haven't listened to them as much because, you know, there's just so many things I want to listen to, but I love Yes, and I will definitely be listening to their first few albums with John Anderson. More of those in the near future. I listen to Frank Zappa once in a while, The Mothers of Invention. I have so many of his CDs, and I just don't have the time to really listen to them a lot. But recently, One Size Fits All, which it's one of those albums where you play it a few times and you absolutely love it, and then you get kind of tired of it. It's like, okay, I've heard it. You know, there's nothing new I can pick out of it. But I'm glad I listened to it, you know, the last time I listened to it, and I really enjoyed it. And I guess that's the other thing I've noticed is, even if you think you're tired of a certain album, play it again and it's like, it's still great. I love it. I hope this makes sense. I just ramble on. Played a lot of Captain Beefheart. Led Zeppelin, all of their remastered CDs from a couple of years ago. I still play those quite a lot. Mainly Physical Graffiti and like Led Zeppelin 2 and Led Zeppelin 1. Yes, I still love Yoko Ono's music. I listen to, that I love, Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground. I don't think I listened to his music or the Velvet Underground's music enough in the past year. Actually, I listened to more of the Velvet Underground than Lou Reed. But I've got his box set with all of his RCA CDs, and I need to listen to those more because I absolutely love Lou Reed's music. Black Sabbath. I am right back. I've always loved Black Sabbath, but you know, there's years where you don't really listen to them, but I've been playing their first 6 studio albums quite a lot, and like Grand Funk Survival, I've become a huge fan of their Sabbath Bloody Sabbath album, which I used to just think was good, but no, it's amazing. I really, really am impressed with it now. And Queen. Oh my God. Now, I have been a fan of Queen since their debut album. In fact, my brother had bought, you know, their first album when it came out, and I heard Keep Yourself Alive, which is, I think, possibly my favorite Queen song. And it sounded like, oh my God, they're as good as Led Zeppelin. So I've always been a fan of Queen since the early 70s. And I bought, you know, vinyl records through the years, The Game and Sheer Heart Attack and whatever, and I'd lose interest and listen to them again. But in the last, you know, I guess since the movie Bohemian Rhapsody came out, which I have not seen yet, you know, but more talk about Queen, I started to listen to them again, and watching them play live, like Live Aid and everything, that's, I think after the Beatles, this is a big one, after the Beatles, I think Queen are the greatest rock band of all time. 4 incredibly talented musicians. Freddie Mercury, the one thing I guess about Queen is maybe there's too much of a focus on Freddie Mercury, even though he's one of the greatest showmen of all time, or frontmen of all time. But Brian May, John Deacon is trying to remember his name, John Deacon, And the guy on the drums, Roger Taylor, just all great songwriters. They could all sing, and they could really, they were as powerful, they were as powerful and loud as any other band live, for some of the songs that they would do. Like modern times rock and roll, that's pretty heavy stuff. I was going to say some other word. And, you know, Sheer Heart Attack, the song from jazz. So I've become, I've always been a fan of Queen, but now I'm going to become kind of obsessed with them again and start buying their CDs again. And hopefully in the new year I'm going to do some kind of ranking of their songs or something, or just individual album reviews, something like that. So that's about it. I got through this video. I apologize for being a little out of it, but you know, I'm sick, okay? And I thought I would just like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Molly's going to be here this Friday, the 28th. And so we'll be doing some more YouTube videos together. So stay tuned for that. I'm done. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Go. Go.